I love how I know how fixture lists aren't random, but I like to think they're random and that it's just fallen like this. But we've been waiting for football for 2 weeks, and we get Juve taking on Inter. It is absolutely massive, this game.
It's huge.
1 point separates 2 points separates the two teams. So if Juve do win it, they will go top. But this is going to be the immovable object versus the unstoppable force, because I think Juve are going to do sod all in this game. Inter have to come out and play their game. Inter have to just be like,
you can't
try and get in the trenches with Juve, because they're just gonna wait.
Yeah,
they'll leave the ball in the middle of the pitch and just wait for you to do something with it. So I think Inter have to just turn up and be right, let's football them to death. But we also know that Juve are very, very effective. And if they catch Inter on the break and get the first goal, I think that's it, game over.
Yeah, I do fear for Inter based on defensively what they could be playing. So they got De Vrij, potentially Damian, and obviously Bastoni is off injured, so it's going to be a Cherby right in that kind of centre back.
Who has been very good this season and last season.
Look, if I was going to call out any of those three, the two I'd say is Damian obviously had a fantastic performance with the Azzurri, and Cherby has been great over the last 2 seasons. So I have no doubts. It's De Vrij that I am a bit suspect of, to be honest. And look, I do fancy Inter, but like you rightly allude to, this is Allegri. They're not going to play it to their hands. They're going to make it difficult. They'll do the set pieces. They'll play the direct balls. So my only question mark with Juventus is who they're going to play up front. Is it going to be Moses Kane, or are they going to go with Dusan Vlahovic to hold up or try and hold up the ball, right? And then it's just a question mark of what chances they're going to create, because I don't think it's going to be through open play. I think Inter are going to contain them. But where Achilles' heel for Inter is that in these kind of games, they can sometimes get caught up by the emotion of it sometimes. So, look, it's going to be a fascinating match. I cannot wait to watch it. I'm hoping and praying we don't see Allegri win this. I genuinely want Inter to win this purely because footballing-wise, I think they're the better side. But that goes out the window in this game. This is all about the derby. They hate each other. Look, the only thing that's in Inter's favour is they've won the last 2 of these kind of head-to-heads. So this is where it's going to be interesting. But like you say, Locatelli potentially missing for this match.
Which is huge. Yes. Which is huge for Juve. It could be huge for Juve because he's been so instrumental in their midfield, like creatively and defensively. Like he had a rough start at Juve to his career, coming from Sassuolo, and there was a lot of pressure on him, and it didn't really work out. But he's really he's really turning into the player that we thought he would be. He's been fantastic, I think. And the other good thing for Juve is that Chiesa has just had an unbelievable international play. Now, we talked in the last episode about that's because Spalletti tells him to attack. But there's a potential there that Allegri might see something and be like, you know what, just go. But that being said, Inter's strength is on their wings. Like DiMarco and Dumfries, the wing backs, are both unbelievable. I know Dumfries is like unpredictable is an understatement, but like a lot of their strength is in the wing back, so Chiesa's going to have his work cut out. But I think you made a really good point with who they're going to start up front, because Dusan Vlahovic can't buy a start, let alone a goal at the minute. How quickly football changes. Arsenal were linked with him this week, and I was like, oh, no thanks. Whereas 2 years ago, I would have bitten your hand off. I was on this pod begging for him to come to the Emirates, and it was linked this week, and I was like, oh, no, I'm all right, cheers. Maybe I'm just fickle and don't know enough, but I think if they start him, because there is an argument that he could hold the ball up and cause a nuisance.
Of course he can.
But that's him at Fiorentina. That's not him at Juve.
No. He can't turn his centre-back very well. That's what I've noticed of his time at Juventus. Whether that's down to the service they provide him, right? Because he works on scraps, essentially. And if he has a chance, it's him trying to create something. You can see between him and Federico Chiesa, they try and link up, right? And they try and create each other opportunities. But sometimes it's been from the penalty spot where obviously Dusan Vlahovic has got his goals from. Look, there's a good player there. I genuinely think there's a good player. He just needs a right coach that will provide him. And do you know what? I think, I'd hate to say it, but I think a place like Chelsea would do him the world of good. Somewhere where chances are going to be created for him, and he only has to focus on being a striker rather than a target man. I don't think target man is his natural position. And what he did well at Fiorentina was being that focus point. He was the man to just get the goals, right? So potentially that's where it would help him in his career. But yeah, back to this game. I think he's going to play it with someone like Moses Kane because I think he knows he's versatile. He will cause issues. He will do exactly to the letter what Allegri wants, and then he might bring on Milik as well later on. What I was going to say to you, though, I think where the battle is going to be won or lost is in the middle of the park, personally. I think it'll be interesting to see what Allegri deploys on Çalhanoğlu. But also Barella is going to be having a big game here as well. And it'll be interesting to see what combination they'll go with those two. Will it be Mkhitaryan? Will it be Asllani? I doubt it'll be Asllani. I think Asllani is more of a Çalhanoğlu replacement. But, I mean, from your point of view, do you see Frattesi potentially making a mark in this game?
I think Frattesi is a player that you can bring on late on, right? I think he's that kind of impact player to just pace in the midfield,
and control it as well,
runs into the box. I think having him as a bit of a dynamo off the bench would be very good. But I think you'll probably see Mkhitaryan for the experience and for the calm-headed midfield. I think will probably be a very good shout. But it's a big test for Inzaghi because this is the first real chance for him to claim, I'm going for the title, right?
Exactly.
We are favourites, right? So I think it's a really big test for him. So it'll be interesting. It's what the most I've looked forward to one of these games in a very, very long time.
Yes.
And that is because Juve are very effective. They're not fun, but they're effective, and they are getting the job done. And it does add intrigue to it. So
yeah, definitely.
That is the game.